says. DeCarl says.
DeCarl has come to holler at the peeps because the peeps want to know, DeCarl, how do you deal with daylight savings time? Well, DeCarl's going to tell you exactly, and I do mean exactly, how he deals with daylight savings time. There's a Sunday during each spring where DeCarl goes to bed and he goes from 12 something to 2 something with 1 nothing in between. That's right, that's what's called daylight savings time. Some genius had the idea of having the peeps go to bed and push their clocks forward 1 hour so that during the summer, the peeps and all of the world that follows this stuff can have 1 hour more of sunlight, 1 hour more of daylight to do those things that we do during the day. So DeCarl has the intent on that same Sunday of getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning. DeCarl gets up. It looks like 7 o'clock. It feels like 7 o'clock. But because DeCarl pushed his clock forward, he looks at his clock and it's not 7 o'clock. So DeCarl has to go through the whole week just like the peeps, being discombobulated, being dysfunctional, because DeCarl risks being late for everything. DeCarl risks being lackluster for everything because he lost an hour of sleep and it's making him crazy. So DeCarl is much like the peeps. But there's one thing about DeCarl that the peeps may not experience. You see, DeCarl is a part of the Sez family, and the Sez family has a tradition. You see, the Sez family meets at least once every month, but during daylight savings time, on that one Sunday where we lose that hour, someone in the family said, we need to make up for that hour. So we have an extra dinner. We have an extra meeting with the Sez family. As a matter of fact, we call it our dinner. That's right, our dinner. We meet for an extra hour to make up for the hour that we allegedly missed. And we go to the same place at the same time and eat the same thing year in and year out at our dinner. We go to DeCarl on Fifi's house, and then Fifi makes a feast. And on the feast, she makes cornbread. She makes collard greens, and she makes the worst concoction that anyone could ever put on a plate. That's right, Aunt Fifi, for the meat course, gives us the same thing that's inside of the swine. She gives us chitlins, or chitterlings, for those of you who may not know, the intestines of a pig every single year. Don't get DeCarl wrong. There's nothing wrong with you if you like them, but DeCarl can't stand them. DeCarl doesn't like the way they look. DeCarl doesn't like the way they smell, and certainly DeCarl's not going to risk on finding out if he even likes the way they taste, because they're disgusting, they're filthy. The same thing that's inside of the pig is going to be inside of the person that eats the inside of the pig, and DeCarl can't stand it. DeCarl doesn't want it.
Hold on, hold on.
This is the DeCarlsez show.
Hold on, sit down, cousin.
Okay,
Baby cousin.
okay.
Just
please
don't say another word. Don't get me wrong, I love you. We're family. But there's a time for lackadaisical laughter, and there's also a time for lucid thought. And baby cousin, this is one of them times where we need some lucid thought. I love your show, and I like your style. But we need to be serious every once in a while. And Cousin Carlton is here to set some things straight. You come out here talking about daylight savings time, and then you start talking about our dinner. Well, right now it's family saving time. So if you please just take a moment and humor me, if you will. Don't let the characters lisp fool you, because Cousin Carlton is here and he just might school you on a thing or two. Let me talk to the babies. I know you call them the peeps, but I'm going to call them the babies, because whether you agree or disagree, all of y'all are God's children. And Cousin Carlton is going to respect that. But this family dinner that we're talking about right here, right now, is more than just a dinner. Understandably so. We can get caught up in just going through the motions of tradition, if you will. Where you just do it because you've been doing it. Well, there's a reason behind the tradition. And I'm going to clue you in on that reason in case you did not know. Cousin Carlton wants you to understand and wants the babies to understand that that meal is essential to the continuing development of our family. You see, the family is not the way it used to be. The Sez family didn't always have access to the creature comforts that we have today, if you understand what I'm saying. We didn't have the croissants. We didn't have the computers. We didn't have the sushi. We didn't have the cell phones. We didn't have the steaks. There was a lot of things that we didn't have. But the things that we did get, we appreciated. And one of them things that we got involves those chitterlings, if you will, the innards of the swine. You see, we didn't even get the ham. We didn't get the bacon. All we got were the leftovers that the other folk didn't want. We got the ears, we got the snouts, we got the feet, and yes, we got the intestines. And we were thankful for it, and we didn't waste a single morsel. Fast forward to today, we don't think about what we need. We think about what we want. And we want more than we could ever need or consume. And when we get what we want, we fill ourselves up and we can only consume so much. What do? We just throw away the rest. You see, those chitterlings, if you will, are more than the delicacy that they are. They are a symbol of what our family has gone through. You see, you can't appreciate where you are unless you understand where you come from. And then, perhaps even then, you'll even appreciate where you're going just a little bit better. We were happy with those snouts. We were happy with those intestines and thankful for them. And again, we didn't waste a single bit. Those were the things that kept our family grounded, if you will. Kept us together. You see, we walked together, we talked together, we cleaned those chitlins together, we prepared those chitlins together, and yes, we ate them together. What do we do together today? The family is under attack, and I don't care what culture, what creed, what religion, what social economic status you happen to be a part of, if you understand me. Your family is also under attack. Families are under attack by the justice system. Families are being institutionalized. Families are being marginalized. Families are being impeded by all kinds of addictions, all kinds of infidelity, if you will. I know there's some families that are all right out there. And babies, you keep it going. But know that all of you are under attack. Even those of you of great prestige. You see, we have these things called cellular phones. You heard about them. You see them. Oh, you say, I got my fancy house. And I got my fancy car, and I got my wife and my children, or my husband and my children, and everything's all right. But how many families really sit down? How many families, even with mama and daddy and Susie and Timmy all in the same house, how many families really take the time to be together, if you understand me? We talk about our dinner. How many families even take a minute together? Because you see so many families today, when they get home, Susie goes to her room, Timmy goes to his room, the wife is in the living room, and who knows where daddy may be, and all they're doing is watching what's on those cellular phones, looking at their YouTubes and looking at their Facebooks and looking at their Twitters and doing their Netflix and their Hulus, and you know where I'm going. We're under attack, I'm telling you. So please, no matter what you're doing, no matter how you feel about Cousin Carlton, don't forget about your families. And it's not just the blood relations, if you will. We're talking about your church families. We're talking about your neighbors. We're talking about your friends. We're talking about all of them that are within your circle, if you hear me. Take some time to talk to one another and to listen to one another. We don't have to talk about politics. We don't have to talk about the things and the gossip that's going on around the neighborhood. Maybe we should just say, I love you. Tell me something that you want to tell me. And that is that, baby.
DeCarl's cousin has spoken. Join the peeps. Remember to comment, share, and subscribe.